What is going on, my good people? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Say That Podcast. And you already know my motto. Don't say this, say that. I want to give a big shout out to anyone who tuned in my last episode with Julian Mendoza. If you haven't already, it's available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Please go watch or listen to it now. And since you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to hit that subscribe button to help grow this podcast even further. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, my username is REPETE617 for the personal, and say_that_pod for the pod page. And as you can see by my hat, I have a lot of merch available. I have hoodies, t-shirts, dad hats, and shorts. I have shorts available. I know we're at the end of summer, but you know what I'm saying, still got to get those orders in. So if you want to cop anything, please let me know, and I will come to you, or you come to me, whatever, we can make it work. But it would be good if y'all can support the pod in that sense. But either way, I appreciate y'all regardless. But today, ladies and gentlemen, this is an artist I've been wanting to interview for an extremely, extremely long time. It is very hard-pressed to know this Boston music scene and not know who this gentleman is. This man has been putting in work for an extreme long time now. And honestly, he's one of the most high-level artists. I ain't just talking raps. I'm talking artists we got in this scene. So I need y'all to give a warm say that welcome to Najee Janey. What's going on, baby? What's up?
My God.
How you been?
What's going on, man?
Not much. Just kicking the shit, grinding.
That was a great introduction, man.
I try, you know what I mean? Like, I try to, start it off fire, you know what I'm saying? Get the energy good off, right? You know what I mean, right? I do say, a lot of things with my podcast, I think it's a little funny. Everyone's always asked, you've always been wanting to interview the stars, because it's true. I got a laundry list of guys and women that I want to interview, and I haven't yet. So it's like, when they come on, I'm super excited about it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I love that, bro.
Of course, you know what I'm saying. How have you been though? Let the good people know what Najee Janey's been up to.
This is the count. Look into this one right here.
That's right there. That's on you.
People, I've been great. I've been amazing. We just dropped my recent album. It's a brand new album. I love this album. It's called Royalty. It's out on all platforms. I'm also selling it directly to my fans. I'm selling private links to the album. And it's been an amazing journey. We really just been doing post promo for it. We still been posting visualizers and content here and there. But I'm really preparing now for the Royalty show to perform my whole album live.
Now, when is that going to be?
That one is going to be in October.
Okay.
In October, like mid-October.
We're a little ways out, but still, gotta promo it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And where is it going to be?
It's going to be in Roxbury. Mm-hmm.
Home base.
Yeah, it's going to be in Roxbury at my homie spot, Copper Clubhouse.
Okay, I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah, shout out to my man Sean Webster. He has this amazing warehouse auto shop spot. I shot my Don't Stop music video in there, as well as host my album listening party there. And that's like home base right there. So.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's one thing about you. You're very community based. It's Roxbury to the world with you.
Yes.
Through and through. And one thing you did recently, before we get into the album and all that stuff, you did that mathematics athletics cipher with Milk Shaw and OG.
Yes, my cousin Milk Shaw.
That was he's legit.
He's
no
blood
shit.
cousin
Wow,
Milk Shaw
awesome,
Benedict.
Bro.
Yep, I just was with him. We had a session earlier.
That's awesome, bro. I love that. So, as you kind of maneuver through life and maneuver through your career, how do you want to inspire the little kids in Roxbury that are growing up, watching you, watching Milk, do your thing, and kind of take Roxbury really to the world?
Well, I really just want to inspire everyone, youth, teens, elderly, that they all contain a spark of light, a spark of life that can change the world and the environment in which they live in. And the easiest way to do that is through your gifts. So by living through my gifts and showcasing what I love to do and what I'm passionate about, it's all with the intention of that rubbing off on, whomever whomever I'm around, including youth, or because I also teach my own hip hop workshop.
No shit, where at?
Yeah, throughout the city, anywhere I get booked.
Wow.
Really, yeah.
How long you been doing that for?
I would say like 3 years, 2, 3 years now.
That's awesome.
Right now we are at a couple sites. Well, one site just ended over the summer, but I teach like the fundamentals of hip hop, bro. So
Is it more like a summer program or like you do it all year round?
no, I do it all year round.
Nice.
All year round, cause it's not.
awesome.
It's also for adults too. I've
No
done it
shit,
for
yeah, really.
adults. I've done it for like 250 students at one time in like a whole lecture hall style.
College style type thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, bro.
Because I mean, they got those hip hop classes at like colleges, like
I
you know,
know.
hip hop's in. It's honestly, I feel like back in the day that was kind of like what rock and roll was, but now it's like hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when I was in college, 9 years ago, one of my first classes was like a history of hip hop.
Yeah,
and I'm
and
like,
that's
I'm like-
beautiful.
and I,
Yeah.
know, and I was thinking to myself like, yo, that's so cool because I went to college out in Newton.
Okay.
So it's not like it's like a
What
place.
college you go to?
LaSalle University. Was
LaSalle
College,
University?
yeah.
Okay.
Noble also went there, and Nicole De Silva. So we
Okay.
got some, LaSalle
Shout out to
alumni.
Noble
You know what I
Nicole,
mean? Right,
yeah.
absolutely. And I'm thinking to myself, like, does that really say like history of hip hop? I was like, absolutely, I'm all for it.
Damn,
and
I wish that was at my. When
what
I
it
was in
was
college.
like it obviously taught you about like the pioneers and stuff like that, but then it taught you like everything around like that culture. So like graffiti, for example, because back in the day when graffiti artists were getting big in New York, that was kind of like the one that went hand in hand with like New York hip hop and graffiti artists. So that's why I thought it was cool because I wasn't like. I was kind of like in that SoundCloud era, I wasn't really listening to like the OGs or something like that. Obviously, I grew up on like 50 Cent, Eminem, like that era of hip hop. But like learning about like, Africa Bambaataa, freaking Mobb Deep, all this stuff, I'm like, wow, like this is really hit
Culture,
here.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it took I feel like I was so late to the party of knowing that like Gangstar was from Boston. Like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that's what like, it
And
just
Bobby Brown.
Yes, exactly. New Edition, all that
New
shit. Like,
Edition, yeah.
it just opened my eyes to like so much stuff. That,
And
like,
Donna Summers.
Donna Summers from here? No
Yes.
shit, really?
Yes.
Oh, my mom loves her. Yeah, but see, that's what I mean. It's like I'm still like learning about like the oral history of hip hop as I like do the podcast and like hear people like you talk about your experiences with hip hop and like teaching hip hop to like kids and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why it's all awesome, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's a universal language,
Right.
and I love that. You know what I mean?
That inspires the world, literally.
Absolutely.
The whole world is
Absolutely.
want to get involved in hip hop. It's beautiful.
And one thing I want to say is that I don't really box you in as just a rapper. You're a true artist.
Thank you.
You're a very true poet. I remember listening to your episode with Mike on Turntable Teachers, and
Yeah.
like you come from like a long line of just like music
Yes.
and poetry and stuff like that. I think that's so awesome. So
Thank you, bro.
it's just you being like this greater visionary. So I feel personally like a lot of artists kind of struggle to really like tell a story in their music. But with you, even if like you're making a dancehall song, I can still hear a story. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
has there ever been a time where writer's block has maybe been a struggle for you, or like you maybe found yourself kind of struggling to tell a story in your music?
Definitely earlier on in my music career, I would say maybe like when I like from the age of 12 to 14 maybe, that was the genesis of me figuring out how I want to rap. But then there was like a switch that happened when I turned like 15, 16, when I started selling my first mixtape, where I learned how to not get into writer's block and to really just pull from real life experience that I go through every day. And that changed the game for me on how I'm able to get inspired and write a story. Like I started to learn techniques. I started to study the great songwriters from Paul McCartney to Prince to Jermaine Dupri, just certain formulas that everyone else has used on how they format songs. And
so you weren't even like, because like you mentioned Paul McCartney, you weren't even like studying like rappers at that time. You were legit like
no, like
an
I
open book to like all genres.
Yeah, to the best writers. I started to get more inquisitive on, okay, who's the like most highest paid songwriters, or right now currently Like my favorite songwriter is Teron Thomas, who's a Caribbean. He's from St. Thomas, I believe, and he wrote Lotto's uh the big energy
Big energy.
song,
Yeah.
Level Up with Sierra,
Wow.
Miley Cyrus, like so many
Whoa.
hit. You gotta look up
Wow.
his catalog, and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. And then you got Jermaine Dupri, who wrote all of Confessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. At first, when I didn't recognize what formula I wanted to use or how to even formalize songs, writing, I always would get stuck on
Right.
on things. But
Because I had this similar conversation with Samba, right? Because he, is a songwriter supreme at his
bees,
young age, and just
yeah,
all the plethora of other things he does with music. But it kind of almost feels like, while there's money to be made like rapping, there's also might even seem like a whole lot more in just writing the songs.
yeah,
Because I didn't even know that a guy like, the Thomas guy you just mentioned, wrote all these major songs for all these female artists that have been streamed billions of times.
Lizzo, you
Like, that's
reminded
crazy.
me. Yep, yep, he
No
wrote
one
his
would
for
know
Lizzo.
unless
Yup.
like you really know about like music and how this shit works. They
Yeah,
just
bro.
hear Lizzo, Miley Cyrus, Lotto, and they're like, oh yeah, that's this song. But like, no, like,
There's
you
a
take it
whole
back, a whole list of production people, and they're just a voice on it.
Right.
So I think it's so cool how you may not be able, like, someone may not make as much music, but they'll write the songs and they'll still make a lot of money.
Yeah, or they're syncing their songs
Right.
and landing movie syncs or TV syncs
It's
on
crazy.
crazy.
It's
So
like,
yeah, there's mad ways to make
yeah,
money in the music industry.
of course. And I feel like you only know that if like you're in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's good to educate like someone who has a casual viewpoint of it. Like, no, like, this is actually the music industry. It's not just you get a mic and you start rapping.
Right.
You could, but there's all the other stuff around it. You know what I'm saying? So right,
Exactly.
absolutely. And another thing that I just think is so cool about like yourself, last year, you made it was the start of this year, you made the Boston's most influential people list, man.
Oh, shit,
Come on.
yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
unbelievable. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
did,
So
yo.
how did that like just feel it? Like, did you know it was gonna happen, or did you like
No, I did not know
Wow.
it was gonna happen. Yeah, I was just like, oh, I got the email, and I'm like, okay, all right.
So how were you like feeling when you got that honor and stuff like that?
It was affirming that, yo, just keep walking your path. Don't worry about when things are gonna happen or how it's gonna happen. Just worry about right now, the moment, and what you can do to maximize the moment. And that was just like, see,
Yeah.
keep going.
Right.
So,
That was like just bulletproof points
yeah,
right there,
yeah,
because
yeah.
a lot of them on the list, they were like, Celtics players or Red Sox players. I get it.
Celtics players, owners
Right.
of certain teams, a lot of people I've never even heard of. but
Like, me too.
yeah.
I'm
I'm like, whoa, this.
like when I seen like, the NBA players on there, I'm like, all right, that's true. But like when I think of Bostonian, I think of like Najee Janey, I think of Oompa, because I know she was on there as well. Like that's being a Bostonian. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, if you were here for 5 years, you made an impact, that's cool, but you got to get the people that like were born here, that
Right.
grew up here, that like understand what Boston is, what the arts in Boston are.
Absolutely, bro.
So to me, like, to see, you two on there, like, that was very like touching. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you,
It's
man.
like, that's what, not like a whole Boston we got one, but it's like, shout out to Najee and
No,
Upa, 'cause they were
that's
really
a big
put
moment, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for even like bringing
Of
that
course.
up, bro.
Yeah, because
I appreciate that.
it's like you said, like, it's just reaffirming that
Mm-hmm.
like everyone's on the right path. You know what I mean? So big shout out to you for that.
Yes, man. Thank
All
you,
right,
thank
and I
you.
also want to give one more shout out to your incredible management team. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes, absolutely.
Shout out Empress, she's in the building right now. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
Shout out your dad, Charles. He threw me a
Yes.
great lob for this episode.
Yes.
A lot of people, their management teams are, maybe like their friends or something like that. But like, you literally have like your family helping you along this journey. So how has that kind of impacted you to go harder with this music shit?
Man, because at first it took a lot for my dad to overstand my vision. When I first brought my love for music to him, like, he wouldn't even listen to my music if it had swears. So I had to make a whole project. My first mixtape was a clean project, no swears.
Wow.
And when I dropped out to make music, it was a big thing for my parents. But to now circle back around, the accomplishments and achievements and certain shows that they were able to see, it allowed them to finally get it, and to now have the amazing gift of not only my wife, but who's also incredibly musically inclined, but to have my dad, like, and my stepmom, to collectively be like, yo, you know what? We see what you got going on. Like, let's as a family, let's go.
It's a
And
beautiful thing.
and I come from a very
Yes.
amazing, culturally rich, melanated black family that always has looked out for each other. So it from generations earlier on, I'm just honored to continue that legacy, bro.
Absolutely,
With them.
because like I said, doing my research on you, and obviously, your dad hit me up, and like I said, told you off air, I was like, I was honored, absolutely. But kind of, hearing you talk about it on like other podcasts, it's like, wow, like some people would wish that, like, they, like, their family had their back like that, especially when it came to like music, because I know growing up, a lot of people have like approached their parents and have said, I want to do music, and they're like, okay, but what are you going to do for a real job? You know what I mean? They don't. Their parents didn't understand that music could be the real job. So to have someone like you who has grown up in that, and like got the trust of your family to like be like, hey, this can actually be my real job.
Yeah.
Is very inspiring, and I hope whoever's listening gets that inspiration.
Yeah, and also I had to really work on myself and mastering my craft to even get to the point where I'm confident enough to be in a room and be like, yo, no, like, to stand on my music.
Yeah.
Um, and also, it wasn't. I've had previous managers. I've had, when I first got into the industry, that put me in situations that I learned from positively, and even in a way that I'm like, okay, now I know what not to do. And everyone played a role in my life. So now it just feels that I have more control over how big of a kingdom I want to build, but it's all in house.
Absolutely. And speaking of kingdoms, we are going to get into the album right now, appropriately titled Royalty. You know what I'm saying? 11 tracks, 4 features. The whole thing's available now. Like you said, you can go buy it from them privately, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Which I think a lot of people should, support the journey whichever ways you can.
Yes.
So kind of talk me through the creative process behind this album, and if there was any inspiration for it, and, kind of how you brought this body of work to life.
So my guy Tony Royal had produced, mixed, mastered whole albums. Shout out to Tony. But essentially, we had, over the years since maybe like 2020, have been hoarding music. And so
I know a lot of artists do
yeah,
that.
yeah, but also creating music, and the intention was always, this is gonna come out at the right time. This year was the moment that I'm like, all right, this is one season we need to put a batch of the records we've been working on. Some records were made this year, some were pulled from earlier years, like 2021. Like Old Spice, I did Old Spice in 2021.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, man, that's pretty much where, how we got the album together.
Yeah.
And I just also wanted it to be a representation of a buffet. A buffet. Someone who listened to my album say, "Yo," I think it was my homegirl Timar. She was like, "Yo, this sounds like a buffet of Najee Janey, like, and everything is tasteful." And yeah, in her words, that's really what I wanted to create for my.
That's a great description.
Yeah, for sure.
Honest to God, because when I think of royalty, I'm like, all right, and you already have presented yourself as a king, as you would be, and you obviously look out on your kingdom. That's kind of like the vibe I got from this. While it could be a buffet of Najee Janey, it's also Najee Janey, looking over his kingdom with a lot of dignity and grace. You know what I mean? So that's what I got from this album. And again, it's available now. Please go watch it. It's excellent.
No, man.
So I want to kind of throw a little bit of a curveball with this album because I like how people describe their albums, but I also want to kind of ask you. It is a bit of a curveball question. Okay. So if this album was a movie and it was starring Najee Janey, right? Okay. What kind of genre movie would it be? Definitely not a horror film. I'm just gonna say it right there.
No.
Definitely not a horror film, right? Yeah.
Definitely not a horror film, but it would be cinematic. It would be thriller, little bit of sci-fi maybe ish.
Okay.
Sci-fi ish.
Yeah.
And it's also very lovey, like love oriented. So I would say a little romance in there.
Well, because that's, what I like about your music is you touch on a lot of, like, different aspects of life. Mm-hmm. Like, you can go bar for bar with the best of them.
Oh, yeah,
but you can also write a great dance hall and love song.
Yes.
So, it honestly, that, it speaks to your poetry background, but it also speaks to how dynamic you are as an artist as well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, absolutely. And a thing with albums is they're always...
It would be like a Spike Lee movie.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay, I like that.
Or, what's bro that directed and wrote Sinners? Forget his name.
Ryan Coogler.
Or Ryan Coogler movie.
Yeah.
It would be like that.
I like that. That's awesome. Black excellence. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. So what I was going to say is a lot of albums, when they drop, they're a point in that artist's story. Mm-hmm. So where is royalty in the Najee Janey story right now?
It's my turn. This is I'm a build the light. I don't even care if you shine it on me or not. Like if you walk by me, you're gonna see it. But I'm building the light this time, so it's gonna be here. I'm here regardless. That's where royalty is analogous to where I'm at in my life.
That's an excellent answer. That is the definition of say that. You know what I'm saying? Say that. Right
like
there.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Stamp that. Say that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I never heard anybody ever use that reference either, too. Like with the light and shit like that.
Okay.
So that's a first for me, and I fucking love it. Come on.
Let's go.
You know
Appreciate it.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's how you grow as, like, this artist. You're so dynamic with words. You're so dynamic with, like, the description and everything. It's almost like you're actually directing a movie. And I'm watching it through my ears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even in your music videos are short, but, like, the essence of, like, the songs and, like, all the messages you're conveying, it's literally, like, my ears are, like, the audio and my eyes are the projection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's what life is. I mean, that's a way you could look at life. And me being Najee, I'm showing y'all glimpses of scenes within my movie, just like Say That podcast is one of the scenes in your movie because you the main character in your joint.
Right. And I'm a big movie buff. That's why, I try to incorporate as much movies at this shit as possible. Because let alone having a music podcast, I could do a 2-hour movie podcast with legit anybody.
For real?
But,
okay, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is The Grand Budapest Hotel, directed by Wes Anderson.
Budapest.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. It's a movie. It's a fantastic movie, but I understand why it's not for everybody.
When did it come out? What is the premise behind this movie?
So it came out in 2014, but I didn't really fall in love with it till like 3 years later.
Yeah. It's a thriller?
No, it's like a Wes Anderson makes these like really quirky, artsy style movies.
Like Napoleon Dynamite?
Kind of like that, but a lot like less like toilet humor. You know what I mean? A lot more like mature, and they have like a definite backstory. Basically, what it's about is it's about this concierge playboy that hooks up with a lot of the older, when I'm talking old, like 70, 80-year-old or rich women that come to his made up hotel. Mm-hmm. All of his stuff is fiction for the most part, but what happens is one of his courtesans, we'll call her, or hookups, she gets murdered and he gets framed for it. So the whole movie is basically like his involvement with the hotel and like how he takes this little like immigrant lobby boy under his wing, and how the lobby boy becomes like the owner of the hotel and all that shit.
Okay.
Just the way it's structured and how it's told is like It like
Dang.
it stays with me. You know what I mean? It's like it's
Okay.
crazy shit. Yeah. And when I say it's not a movie for everybody, and I get why. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely like out of the possible realm of like what like a mainstream movie goer would watch.
Mm.
But I love it regardless. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I love art, that's what I mean. Like I love art. Like there's a Frankenstein movie coming out this year directed by Guillermo del Toro, who's one of the best.
Yo, your director name game is
Yo,
crazy.
yo,
Okay.
I think sometimes it's better than my rap game, low key.
Okay.
But so
You might have to write a script.
I want to so bad, bro.
Yeah, do
The
it.
craziest thing too is I went for like communications in college, and I went to Emerson.
You went to Emerson, I went to Bridgewater.
No shit, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I did communications too.
Like I did marketing. What did you do?
Uh,
I did marketing. I'll say this before. Sorry to interrupt you. I did sports in my undergrad and then marketing in my major, in my master's program.
I think what it was TV production.
Okay. Yeah.
Communicate that.
Totally.
branch.
Yeah. No. I mean,
think so.
communications is a very broad
Yeah.
like term.
All I knew when I was in college was if I want to be on TV.
Right.
So.
Exactly. No. Right. I feel the same way. Right.
Yeah.
But what
yeah.
Emerson, the dudes who you ever hear the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yes, love that movie.
The dudes who directed it went to Emerson.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So and when they won the Oscar for best directors,
Dang.
it was like a big thing. So
That's what's up.
that's why
they
they because Emerson's a big theater school. They tout that a lot. It's kind of I'm trying to describe it in a way that would make a lot of sense because they have all those theaters behind you because it's right next to the Boston Commons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Right in that like little tucked area. There's all those theaters over there.
Mm-hmm.
So they put on all these different productions of all these different plays, but it's like really like high level Broadway shit. Like they're kind of like the minor leagues to like the Broadway's major leagues. Like if you go to Emerson for theater, you have a great chance to be like this big Broadway person.
Emerson. Well, shout out to Emerson.
Shout out to Emerson, absolutely. I enjoyed my time there. I
But
really loved
everywhere that movie
it. Year.
in the Matrix,
Yeah. Mind fucks.
those are my ones.
And those are two great movies to have.
Napoleon Dynamite, Spider-Man 1. Those are my ones too.
Those are your letterbox top 4.
Yes.
All right.
Drunken Master, Jackie Chan's Drunken Master back in the day.
Okay. Wow, so we getting throwback with it.
Yo,
All right.
and then all of Bruce Lee's movies, Enter the Dragon.
So we're talking like 80s karate movies. Actually,
Yes,
I love
bro.
that. I love that. You know what I'm saying?
Shrek.
Oh, of course. How the fuck you
Shrek
can't love
one.
Shrek? You know
That's
what I
my
mean?
shit.
That's the shit we grew up on.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Same with
yeah.
that's why I said the first Spider-Man movie. We grew up on that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and people have said to me like they think it's funny, right? Because I like superhero movies, but the reason why I got into all these like different like artsy style Oscar winning movies like that is because superhero movies just got so like there's just fluff. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of substance in them, but that's why I took a step back. I'm like, all right, what else is available? Because I love movies regardless. I'm not gonna stick to the script of freaking just watching superhero movies. Bro. That's not personally to me. That's not how you consume movies. So like all the movies you listed, completely different genres, completely different movies, but they're all fantastic, right?
Right.
But like for a long period of time, I was strictly only watching like franchises, like Star Wars and the Marvel Universe and like all that shit, right?
I fell asleep on Star Wars.
A lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? It really is like.
Have you ever fell asleep in a movie? Like
You know what's funny? I fell asleep during a Wes Anderson movie.
The first movie I ever fell asleep to was Don't Mess with the Zohan, but what's the first movie that made you cry though?
Ooh, that's a good fucking question, bro.
For me,
it's called Life is Beautiful. It's a movie about these Italian. They're not immigrants. Yeah, so they're Jewish people living in Italy, but they're Italian, and it's during the the World War II, and their village gets taken, but the father tries to make it like a game for his kid, so the kid doesn't like struggle with like and is like not fearful of like reality and all that shit. But there's a really like one of the most heartbreaking scenes in cinema. The father dresses up as a woman when he puts that like babushka scarf on his head and he like pretends he's a woman, and he gets caught like he's either out past curfew because I haven't seen it in a while, but he's either out past curfew or he's like trying to escape, and he hides his kid in like this like locker, and the guards taking him to go get executed. But the father keeps a smile on his face the whole time. He gives his kid a wink like that. The kid winks back, and as and he knows the kid's watching him as they're walking to like the alley where he's gonna die. He's doing like this funny dance, like making the kid laugh, and all up until the point, then you hear gunfire and the guy's dead. I was like, damn, like that's some heavy ass shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all in Italian too. It's like all subtitles and shit like that. But I seen it when I was like, I would think it was in 5th grade, maybe. And they showed it actually like at my elementary school. Thinking back, I'm like, damn, like that's not like that's like not the movie you want to show in elementary school. Got some heavy shit.
First movie that made me cry was not as heavy as that.
Yeah.
But you won't expect it. But it was deep though. I don't care what anyone say. It was a Click.
Yo.
Click.
Yo, no. That is deep. Yo, that is deep.
It was what?
Yes, it's still deep regardless. For as funny as that movie was, and you know what's even funnier? I had this conversation like 3 weeks ago with another one of my friends who loves the movie. He literally was like, "Yo, Click like made me cry." And I'm like, I can see why. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because that's actually like that. No lie, that's a quintessential movie. Because it's funny for the start of it, then you just see like the decline of like his attitude and shit like that, and it really makes you think that like, you know, life's only as good as you make it.
Yeah,
you know
and every moment counts.
Right, exactly. Yo, that's a name.
It's a deep movie.
No, it is.
Very
no lie.
deep movie.
It's a very deep movie, and I feel like when people cry at movies like that, when you tell them, oh, you cry at Click, like yeah, like you recognize the essence and the emotion in the art. You know what I mean? Even for it being an Adam Sandler movie, but it's still like really heavy and deep.
Yeah, I just remember for the longest time I was curious as to when I was gonna cry at a movie. What movie was gonna make me cry? And for that one to make me cry was bewildering as ever.
Yeah, it's definitely not something a lot of people would say made them cry, but obviously if you think about it, you can see why. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm glad you said that, Don.
Yeah, bro.
That's why I'm listening to a lot of like music from the scene, and my thought is, you know, not make a compilation album, but like how can we get this music into like movies, on movie soundtracks, and like how can I get like, you know, in all these different places. So that's why I'm really appreciative for all the art we have right now, and for talking to such an artist like yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely. So shout out to you. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
But one thing that I feel as though your music also does is it ages very gracefully. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
yes.
I want to ask you this about royalty as well. You know, if someone finds this album 50 years from now with no context, what do you think they would assume about the world you're living in right now, and how the Najee Janey story was kind of playing out? Little deep, but I want to like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I speak on a lot of interesting concepts that have been going on for years, from the record Judgment Day. No, The War's Just Begun. That's a song speaking on police brutality, speaking on war. These are all themes and issues that society deals with a lot. So I feel like 50 years from now, someone listening to the album will probably be like, damn, that shit was going on then still. Right. But also I bring about themes of change and actually making a difference and impact, and themes that everyday people can feel. So I feel like it wouldn't be too far off of a project, or it'll still feel like this is now happening now.
Right.
Versus something that's like outdated.
Of course, right.
Yeah.
No, because one thing that me and my friends had talked about, but even before I started this podcast, was a lot of artists were dating themselves. Not in terms of like certain like world events, but like someone was rapping about like Tinder and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? The stupid shit, like the internet shit that really doesn't matter. But it really speaks to how the world is going, how like an artist like yourself is rapping about these serious problems, and like in the back of your head, like, you know, this may not even change in 50 years. You know what I'm saying? We're still going to be facing these problems. So I think it's a real testament to how you look at the world and how you put it through and into your music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Right.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because however we talk about this album, you know, the point is it is a beautiful point in the Najee Janey story. It's an important point as well. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you on that.
Thank you, bro.
So as as you said, you kind of maneuver through the industry and maneuver through your career. You are yourself, and that's what a lot of people can't say for themselves. You know what I mean? So what's something you think people can learn from the industry as it is right now, that they can become themselves and they don't necessarily have to put on this mask to impress other people?
I would say the industry needs us, the artists, more than we need them. Kinda. I feel the art, the creative is the energy flow of life. If you're creative, you're able to make something out of nothing, which is the number one way to be unstoppable, yo. If you can, from whether it's money, whether it's an invention that can make life easier, if you whatever product you're creating, yeah, the artists need to know, yo, they need the artists more than ever right now. Labels are desperate. Some artists are desperate to want to fit into that image of being signed. If you are, though, you should learn the business side to music, because everything that shine ain't glitter, and you don't want to get duped long term. You want to make sure that all the paperwork or whatever situation you're signing up for is copacetic and in your favor. But yeah, the artists are on top right now. We're really in charge. So that would be the main message. Just artists, like keep going with your vision and creating and what you want to create. Because art is everywhere. Art is life, bro. Yeah.
Absolutely. I had this conversation 2 episodes ago with Justin Clancy, and it really was like, since the beginning of time, that's just what has made the world go, is art. It hasn't been politics, hasn't been, anything like that. It's been art. It's been like the enjoyment of something that another person created that inspired that person watching to also create and build. So I think as we get into an age where friggin' AI is making all this slop art and it's not, it's all fake, the real is gonna last. Yeah. I even said this on my
story. And it's gonna be even more valuable.
Right, exactly. I even said this on my story today because, I had mentioned Guillermo del Toro with Frankenstein. He's the number one anti-AI director in Hollywood right now. He did all of his.
What's his director's name?
Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
He's Mexican, but he made a lot of like. Do you remember that stop motion movie about Pinocchio like 2 Christmases ago? Maybe not. I think it's out on Netflix right now. It's a beautiful story. It's legit, even not like a Disney film. It's like the legit first story of Pinocchio before they Disneyfied it. Like, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Like, he really got it from the source.
That's what's up.
But what he's big on is he's big on making like his own sets. So for Frankenstein, he made it look like this horror like laboratory with freaking like all these like different like body parts. He made it actually like scary instead of just putting it behind a green screen.
That's hard.
And I feel, you know what I mean? And I feel like in the era we're going towards, especially in Hollywood, that's who we need. Because, it may not be a quote unquote kids film, but I'm sure there's going to be a parent who may, sit down with their kid and watch that movie with them. And that kid gets inspired to actually like do something that goes against the norm. Yeah. So that's why I'm very cautious in this digital age. Especially when it comes to even artists potentially even copyrighting their own voice. You know what I'm saying? Because they're freaking. I've heard all these like AI covers of freaking Juice WRLD singing a country song. I'm like, who the fuck is this for? Like, like genuinely, like.
Yo, I just seen something that they gave the first AI. Well, not the first AI, but it was like this. There was a K-pop artist got a $50 million That's an AI. It was a K-pop AI artist getting a $50 million deal, bro.
Yeah, it's just nonsense. And I even see this with Spotify. This was a big thing on Spotify a couple weeks ago, or maybe months ago. There's this AI-only band, right? They got like 50 million monthly listeners. You know what I'm saying? in as much big air quotes I could say, 50 million monthly listeners. Their music's AI, their profile pictures AI. I'm like, bro, like, is this? I like at this point, is this some big ass social experiment that these motherfuckers are pushing on us to try to either get us to get riled up or to feed into at this point? You know what I mean?
That's a good point, man.
Like,
Because I mean, yeah, who knows, bro?
who the fuck knows? Like,
I'll tell you this though. Everything in your room, like everything around this, was created from an idea.
right.
So,
And I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been going through a little creative struggle myself. So,
yeah, bro. Everything in this room was created from an idea. Our shoes, someone was like, I think this should be designed this way. Like, so just keep being creative, y'all.
Yeah.
For real.
And I want to give a shout. I don't think we shouted out an episode. Give a big shout out to the man who created your hat, by the way.
Oh yeah, shout out to Liam, yo, Roxbury.
Of course,
You know what it
proud.
is.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I love that.
Roxbury.
And that's the thing, you know, even you doing the mathematics, that's the thing I love about being from Boston. Like, we take like the like big culture of like, you know, sports and everything, and like we incorporate it back into like our neighborhoods and shit like that. Because I got a North End jersey, you know what I'm saying? You got the Roxbury jersey, you're rocking the Roxbury hat, but with the B and like it looks like the Celtics colors, like that's like the true pulse of like a neighborhood. You know what I mean? That's how a lot of these other sports cities, they don't really have that. You know what I mean? Like, especially in New York. New York's got so many friggin' pro teams. You're either in Queens, you like the Mets, you in Manhattan, you like the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was Boston, we would just all like one
The
team. You know
Celtics
what
or
I
the
mean? Right,
Bruins,
exactly.
yeah.
The Red Sox or some
Yeah.
shit like that. So that's why it's like, I'm just so thankful to like grow up here and like really experience that and then get into this and have those two experiences kind of clash into like something really like awesome and like beautiful and shit like that. You
Yeah,
know
bro.
what I mean?
Boston's a powerful city, man. I
really
love
is.
Boston. So many fun facts about Boston.
I want you to give me two. Give me two fun facts. Other than everything being made here first, you know what I mean?
One recent fact I learned about Boston was the park, Boston Commons.
Yeah.
It's like one of the oldest.
It's the first public park in America.
Yeah, bro.
Imagine
Like, what?
we are legit the city of first. We ain't the first state in America.
What does that mean? What does that really mean? The first public park.
So I think what it would mean is like it's a government official like public park. You know what I mean? Like they set up all those like gates around it. They planted like the trees.
Yeah.
They sectioned it off and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
what like the definition of like a public park is. Because you would think that like, you know, any old field can just be a park. You know what I mean? Any old area of grass can be a park. But like what?
That's hard, bro.
Yo.
That's hard. I
Okay,
don't care,
so
man. That's hard.
forget all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got the first public park in America.
Yeah, the Boston Tea Party, which
Boston
is a
Tea, you know what I'm
huge.
We basically set up this country pretty much. You know what I mean? The country we all know today was basically set up in Boston.
Yep. Even in Massachusetts, like with with Plymouth.
Exactly. Even in Massachusetts,
Like,
where
it's
I
just
work
crazy.
in Faneuil Hall, that's where they had all the freaking meetings upstairs with the revolution and all that shit.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
wow.
So it's still there today. You can go upstairs and see it. But we had the first Dunkin' Donuts, obviously. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, Quincy, Massachusetts. 1953.
The founding of
Founding
Dunkin' Donuts
It's still there today. It
is
obviously
in
looks different.
Quincy.
Is in Quincy, Massachusetts, bro.
Wait,
What's
okay,
that, what,
so
20 minutes from you?
yeah. Wait, so you're saying so the founder is from Boston
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
of Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, the
Wow.
first one
and he
still
built
there.
the first one in
There,
Quincy,
in
Massachusetts. I did not know that.
You know what I mean? Right.
I did not.
And
know
let alone the pioneers we've had in America that lived here, like, you know, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Both houses are still in Boston. You can go see them today.
Louis Farrakhan
Right.
was here in Boston and Roxbury, like for
Yep.
schooling.
Shout out to Harvard's Eye. He gave me this whole education on this. So Sojourner Truth was also here as well.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he talked
did not
about that
know
on the
that.
episode. Yeah, right. John Brown, who was a white abolitionist, was also from Boston, who fought to free the slaves, was also from here.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we are legit like the #1 historical city in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, a lot of people come here, granted, but that's why I love the mix of it all. It's the art, it's the history, it's the sports. It's just all in one that everyone takes this big pride in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why it's just so awesome to be from Boston.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to, you know, Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, all the neighborhoods, JP, you know what I'm
Yup,
saying? North End
yup.
where I live, East
Hyde
East,
Park,
Hyde Park, you know what I mean?
Mattapan,
All that
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And that's the other thing too. It's like, so growing up where I was in the North End, right? I really didn't go to those parts of Boston just because like my whole range would be like from the north end to the back bay and back. Like that's just where everyone hung out. But getting to know people who were from there and like learning about growing up in like Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, it's really eye opening, and like it makes me think like wow, like I was kind of just ignorant for like not even like recognizing that like I could go to these parts of Boston to like just enjoy like the food there or just like even be around there, like you know what I mean, like and that's why I'm so thankful that like I get to talk to people who were from there so I can understand like how Boston looked like for them as opposed to how it looked like for me growing up, you know what I mean, right? You know what I'm saying? So
man, shout out to you for
shout out
for
Najee Janey, you know what I mean, right?
expanding
Exactly.
your mind. Yeah.
Why be a closed book? You know what I'm saying? Why be a brick? Why let the water flow through you? You know what I'm saying? Gotta be a sponge. Absorb it all.
I like
Don't
that.
be a brick, be a sponge. You know what I'm saying?
I like
they don't
that.
call him Brick Bob, they call him Sponge Bob. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like that.
Absolutely. One more thing, bro, before I want to ask you is what is something you believe that people misunderstand about being an artist in today's day and age?
Okay. That's a good
Because something
question, bro.
something
That's a
I
good
think
question.
about is like they see this guy making like all these music videos, or they see all the albums he put out, but they don't understand like the behind the scenes of it. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Well, it takes a huge investment to become an artist.
Absolutely.
Like, especially if you're
Absolutely.
independent.
Absolutely.
The investment of your time, sweat equity, blood equity, the confidence it takes to keep going when no one is coming to your shows, when you haven't caught a fan base, the beginning stages of your, I'm just speaking on the music level. Like I'm
Right.
sure with the other industries, from your painting or
Right.
clothing design, is similar.
Right.
But it takes so much of your mental power and capacity to continuously visualize the reality that you want to live in. And it's not easy. Yes, if you put your mind to it, you can create. That's naturally in our DNA.
Right.
However, being an artist is a huge responsibility, and you're a walking vessel anyway. So it's like you want to be on, you're responsible for how people in, no, I'm not gonna say that, but you're responsible for the mark you leave.
Right.
And whether it's positive or negative, whatever the case may be, you just want to keep a flame that doesn't go out going. Once you're gone,
Right.
you if you can leave behind a flame that stays on, that's the best. At least to me, that's the
No,
best.
that's very well said.
Feeling
You know what I'm
ever.
saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying like this old guy, you're a veteran, but when I say veteran, I talk about more referring to like the experiences you've been through throughout this whole musical journey. So that's why, you know what I'm saying?
Bruh,
Absolutely.
it takes a lot, especially if you want to. Well, you're already competing with the major artists
Right.
by uploading music
That's
to
it. Like you are,
to
yeah,
Spotify.
exactly.
There's hundreds of thousands of songs uploaded a day.
Right.
But on the visual side, you like to have visualizers, what it takes to market a song, what it takes to
Market an album, you know what I'm
market
saying?
an album,
Go on media
promo an
runs,
album,
right?
yeah, media runs, talking to DJs. You
Right.
gotta, oh my gosh! And if you was doing bad business, then sometimes you
about
might
it,
have
yeah.
to, yeah, you could still be in a situation where it doesn't allow you to even drop music. That's a whole other situation.
Yeah.
Thank God that's not my situation.
No, of course,
but
right. You steer clear of that shit, right?
yeah, bro, it happens. So
Yeah. Now,
it's a lot of
one
work.
more thing I
Yeah.
want to ask you: is that your favorite anime?
Yes.
Okay, add it.
Dragon Ball Z
Dragon
is
Ball,
my
right.
favorite anime. Absolutely.
All right.
Number one favorite anime. No, nothing is touching Dragon Ball Z. I don't care. Not Naruto.
I don't like Naruto at all, bro.
Not Yu Yu Hakusho.
I don't like. I literally I just watched Demon Slayer and that's it. I watched.
I've heard of that, but
I watched DBZ Super. I love that shit.
Dragon Ball Z changed the game for everything. Nothing tops that anime.
No, fuck no. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But before we get out of here, Najee, you know, I give this time for people to give gratitude to the listeners or anything. But if you want to give any shout outs, you know, let the people know where they can find you and follow you on all socials and all where your music is. Absolutely. So.
Man, shout out to everybody that has been a part of my journey, that's been supporting from afar, from up close. If you've ever listened to a Najee Janey song, told your friend about a Najee Janey song, or came to a Najee Janey show, I really, really appreciate you. This journey is only gonna get better and bigger and more of a movie as we continue on. And I just want to thank everybody in advance. If you purchased a royalty album, if you streamed it or shared it with your friends or homies, thank you.
And real quick, you still have it for sale?
Absolutely.
Send me the link. I want to buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to buy it.
Yeah, it's a pay what you want feature for the private link to the album, bro. But yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, man.
Because I know before we get out of here, but like that's what's really important. You know what I'm saying? That like you got to believe in this person's art enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's easy just to support somebody because they're from here, right? That's what it is. But like actually like believing in the art is so much more important than that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I say to like all artists, like if you have any physicals of your music, please, I want to buy it. Like I'm putting together like a whole ass collection
man,
of
shout out to bro. Yeah,
of course, like
yeah,
of CDs,
bro.
like vinyls, like I don't want to buy industry stuff. I want to actually buy like local music stuff and just have that last and like, you know, wherever I decide to put it.
Yes.
I love physical media and I'm glad that like the world is actually kind of coming back to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it is with like DVDs even still or like actual like vinyls and stuff like that. But like, yeah, absolutely. Like any way that I could support someone for supporting me, I'm going to do that. Like, you know
I appreciate that,
you give
bro.
it forward, you don't give it back.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And one more thing, but I know I said this like 3 different times now, but I do want to know, and you can let the good people who say that know, what is next for Najee Janey?
More visuals. That's what I'm working on
More
now.
flicks, more movies.
more visuals, more visual representations of not only the music that's out, but just me. Like you're definitely gonna see more story, day in the life, visualizers, music videos, more of that. Because that way people can really see the grandness of what I'm building
And you just
through
did
my
a video
visual
with
identity.
Mojo, didn't you?
Yes,
Young
made
King
by
right there,
Mojo.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my guy
17
Moses.
years old, right? 16, 17 years old, something like that?
16, I think he's 16.
With
Precocious.
the
Yes.
visual he has and like the eye he has just to be a director.
He also directed and shot my Eventually music video too.
go.
The song on my it's a single that's out, but yeah, shout out to
to
Made
Young
by
King right
Mojo,
there, you know
man.
what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
16 years
And
old.
his brother
already,
King David too, who's an amazing rapper as well.
already putting up better numbers than a lot of the older
Yeah,
cats.
what?
You know what I mean?
King David, yo. Both of them, man. They're the greatest.
Boston's in good hands. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? That's
for
type
real.
of shit. But ladies and gentlemen, that was Najee Janey, one of the best pure artists we have from the city. Like I said during this episode, please go stream Royalty. It is out now, and make sure
Stream it, buy it.
buy it. You know what I'm saying? That's how
Buy that.
You got to put the money in the artist's pocket because granted they took a lot of money out of their pocket just
Yes,
to make the art for us to
and
listen
if you
to.
stream it, it's only like 0.0001/3 of
It's not even pennies. It's like it's like below pennies or some shit like that, right?
Fuck that.
But as always, if y'all enjoy this episode, please hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please hit that follow button as well. It really helps grow the podcast further. You can follow me on Instagram, REPETE617, my personal, and say_that is the podcast page. Najee, where can they find you?
Man, you can find me at Najee Janey, NajeeJaney, on all platforms, all your DSPs, Instagram at Najee Janey, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter at Najee Janey, and then on my YouTube, make sure you subscribe at Najee Janey TV.
Boom. You heard the man. You know what I'm
Boom.
saying? Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate every single one of y'all for listening. I appreciate Najee coming up all the way from
Yes,
Dorchester to Beverly on this beautiful night.
Yes.
One of the few artists who sat across the room here, you know what I'm saying,
Yes.
from Turntable Teachers
Yes.
to say that. So
Yes.
we're definitely thankful of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see y'all in the next episode. And if y'all don't know by now, you're going to know. Don't say this, say that. And we'll see y'all in the next episode.
Yeah.
Peace.